Hello, everybody. Hey, back at you for another interview. Have one of my most patient coaches that I know, and Coach Caruso from Fairmont State Baseball. And right now, I'm just going to turn it over to Coach and have him tell you a little bit about his background and bio. And Coach Caruso, if you can hear me, you go right ahead.
Well, Tom, thanks a lot for this opportunity to share with you a little bit about myself in Fairmont State. I'm a 40-year coach. I started my career at Garrett Community College in Garrett County, Maryland. I'm originally from New York City, from the Bronx, New York, and that's right, I'm a real-time Yankee fan. So, Tom, it's okay you got that Boston cap on. It's okay. I'll give you an excuse tonight. Throw you a pass on that one. Anyway, I went to junior college at Westchester Community College, transferred to Frostburg State University, where I graduated, and I have my master's there in in counseling and my undergrad in health and physical education. I taught for 37 years in the Maryland school system, and I've been coached at Garrett Community College, Frederick Community College, Frostburg State University, and my final stop right here at Fairmont State University. A lot of F's in my careers that I've been coaching at. Yeah. Some people had noticed that to me one time. But I've coached 5 years at Garrett, and then I coached 3 years at Frederick Community College, where twice we came on the verge of going to the World Series my last 2 years. And then I switched up to be the head coach at my alma mater, Frostburg State, where we had a 2-year record of 60 and 18 national ranked teams. Probably the 2 better teams I've ever coached. And then from that point on, I decided to opt out and go to Frederick County, where I was a longtime guidance counselor and an assistant coach at Catoctin High School, where I teamed up with Mike Franklin, a legendary coach in the state of Maryland. And for 10 years, we went to the Maryland State either semifinals or finals 6 of the 10 years we worked together. The last year in 2016, we won the Maryland State baseball title, which would be at that time would be a single A in Maryland. So that was a culmination of my career in education, and also after that, I went up to, once I retired, I became an assistant coach at Garrett Community College under one of my former coaches, Eric Hallenbach, at Garrett. And after that, I had an opportunity to come to Fairmont State as the assistant coach. And after a miserable first year, we were 934. The AD asked me to take over the program. Not something, Tommy, I really wanted to do at my age. But I said, okay, I will try to lift this program up and make it a viable, competitive program in the Mountain East Conference. And since that time, counting the COVID year last year, I've been here 5 years. And we have done some wonderful things with some young coaches, some really good donors, and people joined in to try to make this a viable Division II program. We had 2 in the last 5 years. We had 1 preseason All-American, 2 All-Americans, back-to-back conference pitcher of the year, 5 all-region guys, and 19 all-MEC conference guys. So we've done very well here. We made the playoffs 2 of the last 3 years, and we're really proud of what we've been able to do. I was fortunate to be the coach of the year in 2017, the second year, where we set a new ceiling for wins at Fairmont State at 29 wins. Fairmont State baseball goes back to 1925. The last time we won the conference in 1970. My office mate, Terry Dermer, who's a tennis coach here, a wonderful individual, was played on the last team. So we have a living legend in my office, and Terry Dermer. So we're hoping that Fairmont State, either through this year or years to come, will be able to win the Mountain East Conference. We think we're on the verge of doing that.
Excellent. You know that you and I talk and communicate a lot. And, I send you information on kids. I've come down, watched practice, and watched you and your staff interact with the players. And I really am excited about how you go about things and your ways and everything like that. You know way more about it than me, Coach. And I'm sorry, as my four-legged buddies barking at a dog at my ornament dog on the front porch that blows up. So I apologize. But
All right.
do us all a favor. This is a sell part for you. Talk to me about Fairmont State University and what they offer academically, advantages, and what you like about being there.
Well, Tom, I'll tell you what we've been selling here has been a culture. I think it's a family-oriented culture here, and you have to have three different levels to play at Fairmont State. And I built all my programs on the fact high character kids. Sometimes if a couple kids come in a program, they don't measure up to that. They're going to have to be shown the door. You have to be a high character kid, and you have to be degree seeking. I can't drag you to get a diploma. I will give you all the resources to be successful. Tutoring, study halls. I'm a former guidance counselor, so I have an educational plan with every one of our players. In the last 3 years, we have been nationally ranked as a team academic excellence award through the American Baseball Coaches Association 3 years in a row. The highest award given here at Fairmont State in the senior year, the top student athlete. There's an award given every year. Our team has won the award 5 years in a row. So some of the things that we don't have is bells and whistles, where we don't have our own field. We could use an outdoor cage. We could use a better indoor facilities. I get that. But kids get an opportunity if they come here. They're going to get an opportunity. So you can go down to schools in our conference that have a heck of a lot more. We're second to last in scholarships. So what are we selling? Well, here's what we're selling, Tom. We're off 79. We're right between Bridgeport and Morgantown. And I'll tell you what, if a kid comes here, they got a ton of things of things they can do. You got state park, and kids like to hunt and fish. It's not far from here. If you want to go up to Morgantown and watch a football, basketball game, it's right here. If you want to go to a mall, you want to go a movie theater, there's plenty to do. If you want to go to Pittsburgh, it's 80 miles away. You want to go see a game. So I sell the sights and sceneries that we have around Fairmont State, which sits in the middle between Morgantown and Bridgeport. So I think some of the things that kids come here is there's a lot to do here. Now, we want you to make sure you do the right thing in the classrooms to make sure that you're not straying away from what I call distractions in college, and that you have a decent focus and enjoy your college experience at the same time. I think Fairmont State has that opportunity for kids to have a good college experience. You check our schedule. We're allowed to play 50 games. We played 50 games every year but one. That's a statement. Our kids are willing to go down to South 3 different times. We raise money for that. So we go down to Atlanta. We go down North Carolina. We play top-level teams. We were very fortunate the second year. The first year I was here, we knocked off a Division I team, Georgia State. They invited us down. We won 2-1 based on the style of baseball that was taught to me by my president, my former coach, Bob Wells at Frostburg State. And so there's a style of ball we play that's kind of exciting. Some people call it small ball. I don't. I call it baseball. Our job, I think, Tom, is to get a run and then get another run. If you have a decent staff and you have a good defense, you can then defend that run. And if you get a run an inning, 7 innings, you got 7 runs. So our style of ball here is we'll bunt, we'll slash. Some kids do not like to slash, but if they embrace the slash and they sell it and they believe in it, they will be successful. Guaranteed. In 40 years, it's been successful. I've seen it at the high school, Legion, junior college, and the 4-year level. It has worked. Now, the kids don't believe in it, Tom. Of course, that's the kids we don't ask to do it because they're not going to buy into it and they're going to hurt us. But we have guys in the program, they want to get on the field. Well, guess what? You may not be the best hitter. We may have some of the better hitters in our conference, but I'll tell you what, we will battle you for 9 or 10 innings. 7 or 9 innings. So we're going to battle you. So if we're playing, I won't call it small ball. I thought I would call it, if anything, pesky ball. We're going to pest the crap out of you. You don't like it. It's just like, Tom, if you're playing football and you got a wing defense, triple wing, double wing, and because you don't match up in size, yeah, you can be a very difficult team to beat if you don't practice against it. That's called the university. That's Naval Academy. Okay? Sure. Nobody wants to play the Naval Academy in a bowl game. They don't practice it. They don't see it. When you play Fairmont State and you're getting ready that week to play us in our conference, you're going to practice how to defend a slash and a bunt and how to stop a running game. It's very difficult to do. Don't keep in mind, we've had some big hitters here. You know, we set the school record 2 years ago. We had some guys can hit the ball out of the ballpark, but from the standpoint of being a viable, competitive threat in this conference, year in and year out, we introduce a style of ball that's, I think, is kind of unique in not only Division II in baseball. We're not the first school to ever do this. It's whether or not your kids really want to buy into it. Sure. Tommy, I will tell you right now, I saw it on TV. Oregon State, they won it back-to-back national titles, and I saw kids in the World Series slashing. Now, I asked my kids to do that, and you think I asked for their first, first $1 million from them or something like that, I mean, they just don't like, coach, we want to launch ball. We want to swing. Well, you're striking out 6 to 10 times. I got documents here. Analytics, by the way, Tommy, goes a long, long way. And I think the analytics we have here at Fairmont goes back about 50 years. It's still good. It's still very good, the analytics we have used here. So I think that Fairmont State has a lot to offer, and the opportunity is here for kids. If you're not afraid of the fact that we don't have a home field yet, and we're going to have one, it's coming. I'm going to tell you right now, Fairmont State is going to have a field on campus in the very near future. Is the exact near future? I cannot say that, but I've been told about 2 years. We got some outdoor cages now being built. We got, I know that with pandemic right now, we're being shuffled around as far as training this year. But every school's going to be dealing with that, especially schools of our size. But I think we got some things in place here, and we got a brand new AD, and he wants all sports to be successful. And he's trying to give us, I'm going to use a word from him, fair and equal. We'll never be equal to football and basketball. But he said, I can be fair to you. And so what I'm seeing right now with our new AD, Greg Bamberger, he is trying to be fair to all sports. So that's all I can ask for as, a coach trying to build a program that can be reckoned with every year in the Mountain East. Sure. Tommy, I think this Fairmont State is a sleeping giant. I truly believe it. Even with some of the things we don't have, we are a sleeping giant. And if we wake up, look out. You don't want to deal with us in the future. Because once we have that field, once we have some things that we have to have in place here, and we're all more on an even playing field, I think a lot of kids will want to come here. It has more to offer than a lot of schools in our conference, if you ask me. Every school has their own things that they offer that's good for them, but I think we have a lot up here at Fairmont State. I truly believe if I was a kid coming out of high school or junior college, I say, well, coach, you don't have a lot of, bells and whistles. You may not have some of the equipment I've seen in other schools. I said, yeah, but I'll tell you what, you will enjoy your experience here. The third largest school in the state of West Virginia in enrollment, behind West Virginia and Marshall. That's something to be said. I think we go back and forth with Shepherd, to tell you the truth, Tommy. Yeah. So you're going to what's called the School on the Hill, and we have some famous people have come here, gone through here, played for the national title in basketball 3 years ago. We have a very viable football team, but our baseball team right now is catching up and is showing it has a place on this campus and in our conference.
That's awesome. You know what? one of my favorite things about you and talking to you all the time, you could just see the passion and the enthusiasm you have for the game, for the kids and everything else. And you're a go-getter. I mean, we've known each other for a few years now and we talk a lot. I'll let everybody know that, yes, Coach and I do talk a lot. And I'm going to tell you what, I've watched his practice. I've watched his kids interact. I've watched how they interacted with me come down. Now, I knew some of the kids because I had coached them, had opportunity to coach them in high school or work with them through my business. But every kid was, number one, respectful, everything like that. It's that you could tell that the culture that you have, that you talked about, and that family is there. I want to get into some recruiting and your philosophy of the recruiting and process and everything like that. Talking to I'm doing the interviews, Coach, with NAIA, D3, Division I people, and everything like that. Take us through your process of, okay, a kid, I've sent you a kid, or a kid's gotten in touch with you or something like that, to where you've identified them. Now, how do you go about your process in the recruiting thing with them after you've identified them and gotten back to them?
Well, with the corona, obviously it's been very tough from the standpoint of camps, but if I have someone, such as yourself, who's a recommended player that can play at D2, in reality, every D2 coach will tell you, we're looking for D1 players. Okay. The guys that can't get on the field in Morgantown, can't get on the field at Maryland or Ohio State, but can get on the field at Fairmont State and shine. Okay. Our conference had a couple guys drafted. One guy's going to be on TV in a couple years, Brandon Doyle from Shepherd. And there's a nice picture out of Concord through 97. We're looking for top level talent. Okay. If a kid comes here and he doesn't measure up what I consider what his Division II caliber, you got to be honest with the kid and say, I love your passion. I love that you're going to work hard. But when we go against the top teams in this conference, you're not going to see second level talent. You're going to see upper level talent, and you must match up to them. I say you don't have to be better, but match up to them. So I let them know, come watch a game. If you can, come watch one of our games. And when you walk away, be honest with you and your mom and dad and say, do I look like that guy those guys I just saw? Because those guys are pretty good. My wife, we had a player a couple of years ago, Michael Stout, who was probably one of the best pitchers that not only came to Fairmont, but probably came in our conference. And my wife saw him pitch for the first time, and we're driving back home to get something to eat after the game. She said, that Michael Stout, I have never seen anybody like him in my lifetime throw a baseball like him. I said, well, honey, that's our number one. There's a reason he's number one. This kid throws 90 miles an hour. He's got a lot of movement, and you can see he is very difficult to hit. So I tell kids, come watch us play. Come watch us, do you feel like us? Do you swing the bat like us? You can throw like us. So I do want them to know Division II is not a division you look down upon at all. And it is to be, if you could play at this level, you are a very cherished collegiate player to even make the roster, let alone get on the field and help us win. So we're looking for kids that, yes, they got to have work ethic. They have to do the right thing in the classroom, and they got to be coachable, Tommy. But we want high caliber guys that can compete with Charleston's and the States and the Concords and West Livs and Notre Dame's, and the teams that are now up and coming in our league. And so to me, it's going to be a highly competitive league right now because guys, because of COVID, people are looking for a place to go. So you would need to play at this level. And I think sometimes what parents and kids don't want to hear, Tommy, you're a good collegiate player. I don't think you're Division II. Now, they can prove me wrong. You can go to school and show me I'm wrong, but this is what I'm seeing right now based on my experience, that the teams that I coached in the past and this league, you don't look like that kid, you know? And so do you want to develop? That can happen. You may coming in as a 83-mile-an-hour guy, and 2 years, it'll be 87 with a lot of movement and a good secondary pitch. And guess what? You're now on the mound for us. You're a weekend starter, and you're helping us win. Patience, Tommy, which we just talked about earlier today, trying to get on this Zoom for us, is something is lost by a lot of kids today. If you have patience and you're in a 4-year program and you're Division II and you want to get on the field, you must have that patience. In the words of a coach I once said to his team, how many guys today were drafted in June? No one raised their hand. How many of you guys were recruited by a Division I team? Nobody raised their hand. He makes a point. You could become a Division II player. You could be a really good JUCO player, but you're here to learn this game, develop, and then move on to the highest level you can. So to me, any kid that comes here, there has to be a very honest, frank conversation what it takes to be a Division II player in the Mountain East Conference. Just to the north of is the PSAC, Tommy, where you live in Pennsylvania. That's a wicked conference. You know, I play those teams, you know, and I'll tell you what, I see some of those, we played some of those guys, I'm like, holy moly, they're in the wrong division, if you ask me. You know, some are really good.
You know, you bring up a good point. I mean, you know, I send information out to Mountain East as well as down south, PSAC and everything like that. And, you know, Division II, people will sit there and say, oh, you know, Division II. I said, let me just go through the PSAC and the Mountain East and all that. You know, if you look at the top 25 teams, there's 6-7 teams in there every year, and there's teams that are close that battle and put them through heck. That's why those teams are good, because you know what, I go back, and you'll love it. You'll love this. I go back to the old Big East in basketball, and every night there was no off day. I mean, those teams went at it crazily. It was a rough and tumble league. Everybody could play. Any night, anybody could beat anybody. And it's like you said, you have such talent throughout the league and everything like that. Hey, somebody gets out and gets on a roll that day, and guess what? Next thing you know, okay, we're down 1 in the series. Now we got to come back and everything like that. And your point is well taken. I mean, I'll put the PSAC in the Mountain East there with anybody. I mean, look at the playoff games and everything that go on there. Look at how close you were. Charleston, Millersville, Mercyhurst, you know, Shepherds of the States. I mean, you know, it's just unreal. I mean, what I told you before, when I was coaching with the Appalachian Aces the first year that they started, we went down to Concord, and we had kids that were Division I, Division II, Division III, and some people that went to the high level JUCOs and that. Those kids weren't used to say. I mean, Concord rolled out on the hill, and I mean, everybody that they had seemed like 87 and 90 and just pounding the strike zone, nice little off-speed pitch. And, you know, it was like, hey, you guys got a good look today at what it's going to be like here at the next level and everything like that. So, you know, great points. And I think that the things that you talked about recruiting wise and opening up eyes for kids and parents, you made one other reference, which, the first interview I did it in my series was with our student athlete world president, Tim Ryerson, and, ex-college basketball coach, really good guy, and everything, and knows a lot about recruiting. Him and I talk a lot, but it was so funny. He said, I was given a recruiting seminar, Tom, and he said, about 110 kids in the room. He's like, who here's been to a Division I contest? Raise your hand. And everybody's like this and all that. And he goes, who's been to Division II, Division III, NAIA, and everything? He said, there's like 4 or 5 people raise their hands. And he's like, it goes back to that D1 or bust thing. He said, the one thing is the same as you. Go out and go to Division II ball games, Division III ball games, NAIA. Hey, they can all play. It's eye-opening. I just did a interview with one of my pitchers that I played for me since he was in 8th grade, and he was a tweener between Division II and Division III. Ended up going up to Allegheny College and the President's Conference, and he's their closer. Well, he's probably one of the top 5 closers in Division III now, and everything like that. And I'll tell you what, this kid, it was just like I was telling him. I'm going to tell you one thing: with where you are now, he's thrown at 87, 88. He's got a wicked curveball, but he has the magical change. And I'm going to tell you one thing, when you go out there, you're going to you could go out and pitch against Division I kids. You have command of those 3 pitches. You'll throw them on any count. And number one, you know how to disrupt the hitter's timing. And as well as I do, Coach, that's what the game's all about and everything. But you're right on in your aspect of hey, Division II, there's tons of talent in the Mountain East, the PSAC, and Division II all over. I want to get into a little bit more. I mean, you went into it a little bit. Being around the game as long as you have, and I've been in it a long time, we have our mentors, and I know that you could tell me the same thing. Everybody you coach with, what you pick up parts of the game, they pick up parts of the game from you. And that's how, you build your strategy and your philosophy. You went into it a little there. Talk about the overall baseball philosophy and strategy at Fairmont State.
Well, I am I'm off the a big branch of Bob Wells at Frostburg State, a legendary coach. I coached under him for 8-9 years, and then I was the head coach there. And some people buy into what he was selling. I bought hook, line, and sinker. And so our philosophy here is, be someone who can get on base, okay? Square up to the baseball. Don't strike out a lot. Be able to steal the base. Be able to get on, get over, get in. Now, if you get to third base with less than 2 outs, Tommy, 80% of the time you're going to score either through a walk, pass ball, wild pitch, error. That has nothing to do with the hit. You're on third base. You're coming in. That's a run. So our philosophy here is square up to the baseball and be a threat to and make the defense play you. Okay. Our philosophy also defensively switching up there is to dictate to you things that you do not want to do. We play a 5-man infield here. It's not a shift. It's a 5-man. That means an outfielder or someone off the bench is going to come in. And in certain situations, I'm going to dictate to you. You're going to swing, because if you don't, we're going to throw you out. Now, coaches, young coaches will see this, they'll say, well, I'll just go ahead and bunt anyway. Well, you're playing into us. We actually want you to swing. So we have what I call a very unusual style of defense that it takes 2 years for our players to really grasp and learn and really understand it and practice it. So I would say we're more of a motion offense, a very creative defense, and you got to be able to think if you come to Fairmont State. If you cannot think, you will probably find yourself on the bench no matter how much talent you got, because you're not going to survive in the type of offense and defense we put out there. It is, once again, patience on the mound. How do you hold a runner? How do you hold a runner on second base? That's a critical run. Are you just going to concentrate on the pitcher, on the hitter alone? No. You got to let the guy on the bases know you're playing at Fairmont State. We are going to know that you can run. You have got our attention, and we're going to do our best to make sure that we disrupt your philosophy also. So it's like a cat and mouse game that we play here. So I think our philosophy here is, we work hard in the weight room. We have to understand our playbook that we have. You better understand our playbook, and those that can help us win in any capacity, whether you can run, you can field, you can hit, you're a relief guy, you're a long reliever, you're a starter. If you can help us, you're going to be in a lineup and help us win somehow. Do we have what I call a lockdown lineup? If everyone's hitting 350, we'll do that. But since we don't hit 350, we don't have a lockdown. That means if you come here to Fairmont State, again, I said earlier, Tommy, you're going to get an opportunity because somebody cools off. Someone's going to be in your position. You're not playing well? Okay, we'll give this guy an opportunity. If you don't play well, we'll go back to you. So I think kids like the fact that they're going to see the style that we play here, that there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to help us win. Absolutely. If you come off the bench and you can.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, you present like a very good, unique strategy, and everything. It's tough to prepare for. I mean, I know what you're talking about. Opportunities are there for people. That builds team stuff right there. You there, Coach? There you go. Yeah, that builds team stuff and everything like that. But it's a different philosophy than other people and stuff like that. But it's like you said, it all comes down to knowing and being able to execute that stuff, and that's what it's all about. Coach, I just want to sit there. You know what? It's funny. We talk, and I told her I was gonna get his name in here, and you were talking about the legendary coach that you work for, a guy that's he's a bird dog for you, Alan Nuzzi, and he he comments, he follows stuff that I do and conversations we have and everything that's baseball, and he calls you the living legend. He has a lot of respect for you. I just want to throw that in there as kind of a thing, because it lets people know, hey, he's a guy that played at Maryland, but he's in Florida. He's all around the place looking at kids, and it just lets people know, yeah, everybody has contacts that they go to throughout the nation and everything like that. The last thing I want to get into, and I know we've talked about it a lot in our conversations, that is just the COVID stuff that's going on. Tell us about, I mean, you've had to make, adaptations and everything like that. from an NCAA standpoint, a conference standpoint, but also, a school standpoint. Go through just some of the things that you and the players and your staff and the school in general have had to go through with everything that's going on COVID wise.
Well, Tom, it was as all coaches will tell, this is one of the most difficult falls that we ever had. Our president took a very cautious route in recruiting. We've been behind recruiting because we couldn't have anybody on campus the last 2 weeks, and now we have a protocol to visit. We had 13 practices this fall. We incorporated it with 8 games. We decided to go evaluate through games. So we had 3 practices, and we had 4 kids that were quarantined, but they were never tested positive, but they were tracers, so they had to be quarantined. So, anytime you had a couple players that were tested positive, they shut us down. We could shut down because of the athletic department got shut down. So when a sport here, we were in the middle of practice, and we had a trainer come over and said, "You need to shut down right now." So, all of a sudden, our guys are saying this is a different year they've never experienced in their whole lifetime. That a trainer can come over and say, "You are shut down immediately," by the orders of the president of our university. So it's very trying. We have lost some players this year. Some freshmen did not handle the online classes very well, Tommy, in spite of the fact that normally we're very good here academically. We had 7 4-0s here, but we had some freshmen. We lost a really good top arm here, and we lost a couple other freshmen who could not handle it. I think if we didn't have the corona, they'd have been okay. But the ones that made it, they battled through it. They got some friends. They understood what they had to do for the online classes, and they got some upperclassmen that we have in our program. We have a mentorship program, and so upperclassmen will help you. They won't ask for you, but they will offer it to you. If you don't want it, that's up to you. A holistic program that we have here helped us through Corona. Holistic to me is this, that we all reach out to each other. It is not you're not on an island here at Fairmont State. You have the backing of your staff, our entire staff, and you have the backing of your teammates, our juniors and seniors here. So the ones that did make it, they reached out to the upperclassmen. And, we also had to make sure that we're all doing the right thing that our president and our AD asked us to do. We took the temperatures. We did a corona screening every day. And I had 2 kids that ventured into the wrong area of getting caught at a party, at a bar, and they were suspended. That's part of what we do here. Accountability. So they didn't play fall ball at all. So the rest of the guys said, "Oh, this shit is real." Yes, it is real. It's very real what we're doing. People are dying, and we don't know how it's going to affect you. And so right now, the young people, corona was a very serious fall issue that we had to tackle. Now, did we get a chance to see what our team could do totally? No. Do we have a clue? Yes. I think we got a clue what we got going into this year. And now, corona is not going away, Tommy. It's still here as we talk right now. We do think we'll have a season, but still, again, there's the curve needs to go down for us to feel safe, And although we're now listed at a medium level sport as far as corona testing, sure. Baseball and at Fairmont State, we're taking a cautious approach by our AD and our president, which, by the way, some people say, we got corona here, so we're going to have to live with it. Well, we're not bringing it home to our parents. We're not bringing it home to our grandparents. Bottom line, I am I guess in our conference, one of 3 coaches that are a little bit over 65 years old. I don't want the players to bring it to me. Maybe they don't like me anymore. They can bring it to me and they'll be done for me. But the point is this, I keep my distance from our players. They have to call me. They have to FaceTime me. We don't gather together. So we have put things in place here in Fairmont to make sure that we're safe as we can be. And when we get back to training, it'll be the same thing when we train. It'll be in small groups and to deal with the corona issue this year. I do think, Tommy, next year, if we have this conversation, I think it'll be a different conversation. I think at that time, the vaccination will be in, and I think it'll be in society a little bit around the world, and I think it'll calm down about a year.
Awesome. You know what? And like I said, every coach has had their take on Corona, and they talk about how they handle it. And the main thing is that you're still communicating and everything with that. And you know what? Some people handle it better, and like you said, some people don't. And it's the the cool thing about it is you talk about the accountability, and all the coaches do, as far as holding players accountable. They have to be accountable for themselves, and it's a maturity thing. And I'm just going to end up here, Coach. You know what? As well as I do, I got a ton of respect for you. I mean, we talk all the time. We talk baseball. We talk life. We you get on me about my Red Sox, and believe me, I know that you and Nuzzy are those diehard Yankee guys and everything.
No, he's a Met guy. He's a Met guy.
Met guy, but still a New Yorker. I don't like the Mets after '86 either, big guy. So let's put it that way. Sorry, any Met fans out there, but that's just the way. I mean, I really think that you do things the right way. We talked about it when I was down there watching practice, and I thank you and appreciate any invite down to sit there and watch and interact with the kids. I'm going to tell you one thing, though. I am, after my 11 inches of snow up here yesterday and what I'm looking at out there today, I'm looking forward to January 15th, going down to Fort Myers, Florida, with our Rawlings Tigers 15 UT. I need some 80-degree weather and some baseball coming up. But just before I end, I want to make sure I wish you and everybody in your family a Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday season. And I know that you're itching to get back to it once that gets done. And I'll be down to see you play, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you many times before that. But you take care of yourself, my friend, and thank you so much for your insight and your passion to Fairmont State and their baseball program. You do it the right way, kiddo.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. I'll leave us with a quote that we always leave our players, especially this time of the Corona. And it's a word we use all the time in a key part of a game. Hang on to the rope. Hang on to the rope. And you'll be rescued by all your brothers and all your teammates. Hang on to the rope, and we'll all get through this. And you have a great holiday, Tommy. Thanks for this time today to go over some things about Division II and Fairmont State and where we're at and where we're going. And you have a wonderful holiday and enjoy that wonderful sunshine down in Florida on January 15th.
I will. And maybe after we get through the holidays, we can go on and we can have a little get together here about how long it took us to get this connection going with all the technology sweeps and all that today. That's a show unto itself right there. Coach, you take care, and God bless you. And anything you need, I'm a phone call away.
Thank you, Tommy. Appreciate everything.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
All righty. Bye-bye.